Let's get to Ottawa. The Senate expense scandal turned into a full-fledged political soap opera, it would seem. Prime Minister Stephen Harper's probable desire to rid himself of 3 Senate appointees ran into troubled waters, with a Conservative heavyweight considering voting against any kind of move like that. So let's get to our parliamentary reporter, Daniel Prouselidis. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning. It certainly is not a united Conservative caucus this morning as senators gather for a rare Friday sitting that is just getting started as we speak. Some Tories have begun to speak out now against the suspensions of Senators Mike Duffy, Pamela Wallin, and Patrick Brazeau without pay. All of this over questions surrounding their expense claims, be they for housing or for travel or some sort of other expenses. Manitoba Senator and former Conservative Party President Don Plett gave a very impassioned speech yesterday and says he has some very strong reservations about the motions against his former colleagues. Listen to this.
This past week, Honourable Senators, has been one of the most difficult weeks of my life. I am actually considering voting against a motion from my leader for the first time in my political career. I understand the desire to have a fresh start in the Senate, a clean slate. The problem here is what we are trying to do oversimplifies a complex issue with a quick fix at the expense of 3 individuals before giving them the opportunity to defend themselves and before we have had the opportunity to examine all of the facts in their respective cases.
Now, the Senate is likely to vote at some point today, and most say it is likely for the motions against Duffy, Wallin and Brazeau to pass. A Tory Senator, however, Hugh Segal, says the motions are professional capital punishment in his view. There is strong Liberal opposition to these motions, including Romeo Dallaire, who says that these motions are shotgun justice. And all of this comes, by the way, after Duffy and Wallin, at least, did what the Prime Minister asked them to do, and that is actually pay back some of the expenses or housing allowances claims. Duffy obviously did that with the help of the Prime Minister's former Chief of Staff, Nigel Wright. And even in the Commons, I should point out, there is at least one Conservative MP who is not comfortable with what's going on, and that is Edmonton's Peter Goldring. He says it is unconstitutional in his view to pass these motions against these senators, and he thinks that maybe the Governor General ought to review the legitimacy of these motions. The GG right now is traveling in Mongolia on an official state visit.
He's the one who actually puts them in their positions in the Senate, correct?
On the advice of the Prime Minister, that's right.
Okay. Daniel, thanks very much.
Anytime.
Senate second no doubt will influence the upcoming federal election next year. Abacus data recently polled Canadians about their current federal perceptions and who they cast their vote for. Who would make the best Prime Minister in Canada? 26% of Canadians polled think that Liberal leader Justin Trudeau would do the country proud. Incumbent Stephen Harper is trailing behind at 24%. Poll also punctuates the fact that Thomas Mulcair's NDP is taking a brutal image hit by placing third at 12%. 33% of Canadians are holding their vote for an undetermined fourth choice. Not all hope, though, lost for the Tories. They are leading the electoral charge in Ontario, 38% according to this poll, with the Liberals trailing behind at 32%. No surprise given the Ontario Liberal government's recent billion-dollar gas plant debacle. Ontario, though, is the largest electoral province with the most seats in the country, so good news for the Conservatives there.